Hello everybody! So, I am back with another video, and this time we're looking at a announcement poster that I made for the Grassroots Funds Awards for WorkWright Vermont's website. So, the last few videos were just about making the logo for WorkWright, but I also did mention that I was doing some design consultation and some imagery creation for their website as well, and this is part of it. So right now I'm like going through some different fonts, and I'm basically trying to merge a bit of WorkWright Vermont's image and brand design with Grassroots funds. So they had after they awarded WorkWright Vermont with a grant, they send a little pack of how they want to be announced, and they don't have it's like guidelines, like to even they give you like a dummy text you can put. They give you their logo, and so WorkWright already had like a kind of brief announcement on their news page, and then they wanted one to give out to their mailing list and just their page. They have like a tab where they have news. So here we are, and now we've got both of the logos, and what I'm trying to do here is find a way. This is on WorkWright Vermont's web page. This is not on the Grassroots Fund. So I want to find a way to still have a poster that pretty much gets to the point. It's concise. It tells you why you're looking at this. But it also feels like something you expect to see on WorkWright Vermont's page because of the design language. But I also incorporate enough of Grassroots Fund because it is about both of them. So here right now I'm trying to get some of the color of Grassroots Fund. I dropped their red, but I don't want too much of it. I kind of want to accent it, or at least have it like this kind of 50-50 kind of thing going on. So as you see, I'm just messing around with placement. So for WorkWright Vermont, I have it in a header position, a titled position, because like I said, this is for WorkWright Vermont. This isn't for Grassroots Fund. It's about Grassroots Fund. So their logo I'm gonna have in kind of the main space, and I'm just messing around with like the color schemes right now. I want to see what happens when I put more green and gray, which is more WorkWright colors, design language and color schemes, and red and gray, which is the Grassroots Funds one. I'm working with angles here because I'm not sure. I just want a solid blocked color, and I want to see if it just adds a little flair to it. Really, we're just trying to get out information here. This isn't supposed to be an illustrative, very complex thing. In fact, we're going to have to make sure by the end of it, it's simplified enough to really not confuse people or distract them. So this is like a ribbon vibe I'm getting. Not loving it, but I do like that the WorkWright colors and the Grassroots colors are being represented. So now I'm going to look at the text. This is text that I already got okayed about. I didn't make this up. This was the client at WorkWright. They had discussed what they wanted there. And now that I've got something, a kind of work in progress with some of the colors and the shapes going on, I want to focus on the text a little bit. And I would recommend this, guys. Like, you could work with dummy text. I happen to have already had the text that they wanted at this point. But the point is, you probably do want to, a few times, like checkpoints almost, get at least a body of text there and see how it's working. Because here I'm like, oh, well, the Grassroots logo is so big and the text isn't big enough, and it looks weird when it goes all the way across with that big old logo there. So now I'm having to think about layout. If I just think too much about the imagery and not enough about the alignment and the layout, that can become a problem. And I've been there before plenty of times where I've like put a lot of illustration into something and a lot of art, and I focus a lot on the imagery, but it was essentially always supposed to have text as well. So what I would say is don't worry about either of them too late. Even if you like know your text layout or you know your art layout, remember that they do have to work together eventually, even if it didn't start that way or you started one before the other. So I like the layout of the text a little bit more now. So I am just going to work a little on imagery again. And while I'm doing this, I have in mind that I'm going to change some stuff. But I'm trying to merge them a little more. So right here I have a big old line of WorkWright gray just on top of Grassroots red, and then some of Grassroots gray on the left. And I'm kind of trying to connect them more. And you know, I'm working on my font. Of course, you want to think of like, if you have a company font, which most brands do I use that? With this, because it was like a separate announcement, I didn't go for Grassroots. I didn't go for WorkWright necessarily, not as a default. I was willing to try different ones, but if I was to do any main body font, it would probably be for WorkWright. So now I'm trying out different colors. So I'm like, okay, why don't I try some of these kind of bullet points in WorkWright gray? Because I'm always just constantly thinking how to connect these together. How can I connect these? Because there's other stuff going on around it. And that's important. So this is the Grassroots page, some of the stuff they wrote, some of their examples of how to announce them. So on the left text, we have what WorkWright wants to say. And on the right, we have what Grassroots wants to say. And now I'm thinking, okay, I just want to make them work together. But I mean, the only challenge here, and this isn't hard, this is easy, it doesn't have much text to work with, it's small, and it's pretty straightforward. But I am trying to just merge these with the right amount of balance. And that's all this is that I'm doing here. All this clicking and moving around and changing colors of font and alignment is just me essentially trying to merge them the right amount. I mean, there are some things you can do, which one of them I have done to make it clear who's kind of like, whose website are we on? Who are we talking about? Who's this about? And that was with WorkWright Vermont. It's in the top left corner. It is like a header, like instead of being in the main body, which is more like the subject instead of the actual thing. So yeah, I'm just trying some colored backgrounds because I decided I don't want like a complicated ribbon-like border at the top anymore. Under the Grassroots Fund logo, I want to have their text nice and clear. And I also want the text under the WorkWright Vermont description clear. I noticed after putting a colored background, it wasn't standing out too well, so I toyed around by putting a white kind of semi-transparent box underneath. And now I'm just like, I drew these lines connecting them because I just wanted to, like, I guess literally tie them together, but just have a little more of a connection there. So I'm trying a few different colors. I'm seeing what may work best. I'm trying the WorkWright gray and the green to try and tie the logo. And I've dashed the line just like the dashed line that we have on the left side of the heart of the WorkWright Vermont logo. Now, at this point, I'm like thinking, do I want it to be like, okay, it's going from WorkWright Vermont into grassroots funds. So I've got some of this dashed line green, I have some of it red, and I'm trying to put the color schemes together. And I'm pretty much outlining these boxes where the text is with the same dashed line. Like it's actually just going all around and they're linked together. And my main intention here was to just make a nod to the WorkWright VT logo and just give it a little bit of decorative flair. And that's the purpose now. I mean, I kind of like this concept. It's pretty simple, but it makes it a little more eye-catching. It does link it better. And in a more subtle way than what I was doing earlier, was just like the kind of ribbon, cutaways, big thick borders. And now it's just about bringing all the elements together in a proper way. So getting the right color background, as I'm trying here. Getting the right movement with the dashed lines. I kind of want it to flow, like it's wrapping around and going through each other. You know, putting a little bit of a trim here underneath this border at the top. And that's pretty much what I am toying around with for a while. And guys, an important thing to remember is once you get your design language, once you get all of your elements and you kind of have a idea of that. So what I mean is, now I know I want the dashed lines. I know I want to incorporate both the colors from Grassroots Fund and WorkWright Vermont. And I know I want a kind of, I got the white box behind the text to let it pop a little better. And then I have a color behind that as just a background for the main area space. Now it's really about figuring out how to best put them all together in the most flattering way. So this is what I'm doing now, and sometimes it's as simple as this, just trial and error. Perfect. I kind of like the general look right now, and now I want to see it kind of in picture form. And I'm not loving that kind of off yellow, kind of cream color. So I feel like I want it to be a little less in your face. And I reversed it being like that cream color being in the main body. And I put it there. So I've changed it to gray now, which is a little subtler. And it is very within the color scheme. And it's a little better. I think it's cleaner. It still has a bit of a two-tone thing going on. And it's very near its finished version. Just working with the text here, I want it to be aligned better and clear to read. This is also just your last minute go over again, make sure you don't have typos and everything like that. That's an important thing to do. And I'm just checking over a couple of these things. And, you know, you just want it to look clean. You want it to look professional. But most importantly, you just want the information to be there, ready and accessible for your viewer. So now I've got more uniformity. these dashed lines, I've gotten rid of the one to the far right, as you've seen. I've just tied these two boxes together. This is where we want their attention. And this last minute change with the WorkWright VT logo is because after talking to the client, I had feedback, and this will be displayed in a space where the logo will be already on the web page, so it's not actually necessary for me to have it. So here we actually have our final product now. I've just got rid of the WorkWright logo. It's good because I was able to have the title bigger and still incorporate WorkWright VT colors. So that is the final product, guys. I think it came out pretty well. Stripping back some of those colors I was trying to work with was definitely the right move. It looks cleaner, it looks professional. It has some of the color scheme of Grassroot. It also has some of the WorkWright color scheme with those greens and those grays. And then the WorkWright logo moved. Although that's not how I originally planned it, I don't think it made a big difference to the overall announcement. I think it works. It does what it set out to do. Not too many bells and whistles, but a little bit of flair, like here and there, with those dashed curved lines and the little red slant. It looks good on the website, and actually I'll put in the web link for WorkWright VT because you'll be able to see this there under their announcements or events. But yeah, check them out. Thanks for joining, everybody. Let's just keep creating and exploring. I'll see you next time.